and all the questions they asked me were about Gamergate. And that really broke my heart. All they wanted to know, and I don't blame them for it, I want to be really clear. They wanted to know about Gamergate. They wanted to know if harassment was as bad as it seems, and if, like, basically why that harassment hadn't driven me out of the industry yet. And the reason that broke my heart, like, it is absolutely true that harassment happens and it needs to be reported on. Those stories need to be broken. I don't want to say, like, we should really talk about it too much. No, like, that needs to be talked about.
100%.
But that's the only story they were getting. The only times they were getting to hear about women in games are when women were being driven out of games.
You know I'm going to do it, right? You know I'm going to have to play this clip again because you know how much you really love it. Go ahead, Abubakar Salim.
But we're here now. Look, since the beginning of my career,
fake projection, folks.
Someone who's made me feel like I didn't deserve the opportunity I got. From Assassin's Creed to Raised by Wolves, I've had to ignore people saying
yes,
that it wasn't the work.
No,
the opportunity.
No, what is it?
No,
come on.
It was simply because I'm black.
It was simply because
you're black.
That's it, folks. When all else fails, just do the I'm playing the victim routine. Let's project all the bad diversity out there, because at the end of the day, after re-election day for a certain red party, we now have this again. Why am I replaying a portion of this clip again that you've already cringed to quite a few weeks ago? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard, Sergeon Studios, the people behind Tales of Kenzera Zao, the same game this gentleman here, Mr. Abubakar Salim, was the creative director for, well, guess what? The curse of Sweet Baby Inc. strikes again. They honestly should make a Pink Panther reboot, not with Steve Martin, with somebody else, and have the main villain or villainess called Sweet Baby. That would be absolute comedy gold. Make it an R-rated Pink Panther. But of course, folks, I'm here today on Big Booby Friday to talk about this story because, well, guess we told you so.
Just like Duke Nukem, Jason King loves Anime Titty Fridays on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
What a beautiful pair of knockers.
Her voice may be almost as important to gamers as Lara's double pistols, curves and skimpy shorts.
Kung Fu Hot Dog
is a Kung Fu renegade cop. Now he must defeat the most evil Kung Fu master in the world.
For a modern gaming audience.
For a new world of unspeakable adventures.
I said, Mummy, I like the way the lady runs.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures, never before shown in a motion picture. Get ready for
Kung Fu Hot Dog.
No retreat, no surrender.
So, as initially reported by Minimal Effort, numerous Sergeant Studio employees announced they have been laid off via LinkedIn. So one of those people is Joe Philpott, a 3D environmental artist. And unfortunately, he says, I've been affected by the Sweet Baby Inc. layoffs at Sergeant Studios. If you or anyone else you know is looking for a 3D artist and for environments, 3+ years experience, give me a call. And likewise, Joe's other colleague, who's called Jordan Smee, also echoed his thoughts in the same manner. So I'm pretty sure these gentlemen will get jobs, no doubt, very, very soon. And when they get to those studios, when I just think about reading this, it's like, okay, they'll be hired by another studio. They can then tell the HR department and the head of that studio, listen, if Sweet Baby Inc. comes sniffing for your blood, make sure you turn them away because this is what they did to us. I think by now it's an unspoken rule within the video game development fraternity that Sweet Baby Inc. is probably the worst thing that you could ever say. It's almost the equivalent of finding out you've got cancer and you're trying to find a way of getting, and you're hoping that you can get rid of it by some means necessary. So I definitely think there is that sort of thing going on at the moment. They just can't whisper it out loud, because if they do, they'll probably get cancelled, which I think is such a shame. It's terrible. Of course, now, believe it or not, there are people who are actually defending this. Oh, it's not Sweet Baby Inc. who caused the layoffs. No, why on earth are you using that as a means for your own projection? Well, when we go over to Twitter X, which we'll do very, very shortly, we have this insufferable moron right here called Jade Law, who I am assuming is a lawyer, hence their handle, but I could be wrong. It's legit sad to see people celebrate devs losing their jobs. Nobody, Jade, is celebrating the loss. No, obviously you are, because you're about to have a different narrative altogether. If a game is not for you, fine, almost crying their crocodile tears away. But people worked hard, game development is challenging, and losing your job sucks. Alright, thanks Captain Obvious, didn't know that. Celebrating the misfortunes of others generally doesn't make you a good person, which is a very patronizing comment when you read it in the grand scheme of things. So VGC, Sergeon Studios, the developer behind Tales of Kenzera, are facing layoffs. Of course, they would actually quote VGC to give their argument a bit of validation, which is actually quite funny. Oh, and look at that. You can't actually reply to this anymore, which I tried to do yesterday. So you have to retweet this, quote tweeting everything in here just to get your voice heard. It gets even worse. If you reply to this thread and you mention SBI or DEI or saying this is a good thing, I'm going to block you. You're not welcome here. So normally you should block somebody on Twitter X, okay, if they're insulting you. But if you're just telling the truth that yes, it's Sweet Baby Inc., it's DEI, it's Larry Fink, it's BlackRock, it's Vanguard, then what's wrong with that? That's an actual fact. A lot of journos, a lot of the journalist outlets in video gaming are not talking about this. When they talk about Sweet Baby Inc., Black Girl Gamers, the same morons behind the failure of Foreskin, as I love to call it. But they don't go after them, but they only talk about them when they've got a brand new game on the horizon. Compulsion Games, Compulsion Studios, from south of midnight, you guys and gals, you're next. Before October, your heads will be on the chopping block just like that. And I will have made that grim prediction, ladies and gentlemen. So Atreus says, the audacity of you to try to tell us who is not a good person when you and your industry colleagues have spent the better part of the last half of a decade attacking your customers and gatekeeping the industry away from people who don't think like you. Yes, we will celebrate every... What does that say here? Oh, it's all gone. What happened there? Oh, here we go. Oh, right. Oh, until you... Okay, right. I can't read that next word out. Yeah, they have to wake the hell up. It's true. Of course they do. That's absolutely it. It's not victory lap. I like to use that phrase, but it definitely isn't. And again, isn't it funny when fans who you could say are gatekeepers, and by degree we should be, because we've grown up with certain franchises for so long that when we start to see them being peeled before our very eyes into something unrecognizable, then you should say something, right?
It's women of color, indigenous women, women living in the global south, women with disabilities, queer women, and trans women who bear the brunt of these ramifications.
My parents are sexist because they had my brother before me. Fuck feminism.
Every single zealot's removed from this industry where they can't damage the things I love further is a blessing. So maybe what Neff is saying here is that the people who were laid off might have been activists. I don't think so. In fact, there was a very funny post here, which I do need to find, and hopefully I will find it again. Oh, here we are, yes. Dr. Pikachu This is why we celebrate. If you support extortion, Sweet Baby Inc. are wannabe mafiosos and absolutely fail at it. If you support extortion, you deserve no mercy. Which, of course, when I hear those last two words, I think of Richard Gere and Kim Basinger from that same movie where he played Eddie Gillette. Black characters to video games under the guise of representation, she revealed, which is Kim Belair, she actually advised one company to remove a Frenchman. How dare they do that? She revealed, I once worked on a project where they had an all-white as opposed to alt-right cast, where they expressed their desire, okay, we need to mix it up a little bit. How about we have a stereotypically Frenchman with the beret, with the bouquet of garlic around their necks, and a striped shirt? Adieu, le door, lipiador. How can you do that? Why? Because if you're going to insult or even reinforce a stereotype of a Frenchman, then what else does it matter? And then what do they do? Okay, they're white, cis, hetero males, which I am proud to be, by the way, except for the white part, because I would have to undergo a bleaching session like Michael Jackson did for Bad from 1987. They're white, cis, hetero males, and we cater almost exclusively to them. And the problem is that we don't just cater to them like, you know, here's something that we think you'll enjoy. We cater to them like a picky baby. Good God, man. What does this have to do with Zhao? Oh, that's right, nothing. This Jade Law person is absolutely moronic. Are they he, she, they, them? Let's have a look. Entrepreneur, creative, worked on Marvel, Star Wars, Call of Duty, CEO at War Dog Studios, 17 years in games and film, BAFTA nominee, let's discuss the business of farting. Okay, right, so in other words, you're an absolute moron. Holy hell. You know, you might be good, you might be genuinely talented, I don't doubt that for a second, but it does make me laugh when they do come up with the old, oh, it's not Sweet Baby Inc. You gotta give these people a chance. You really have to. And it's, get out of here, man. If you're a talentless hack, you have no place being in this industry at all. So ladies and gentlemen, I've had some real drama with this microphone today, and I'm going to have more drama in the next few days. It's a long story. I'm just really trying to fine tune my audio at the moment, and I bought that Electro Voice 309 birdcage mount for this, and you know what happened? It all fell off. It's an absolute con. So I am walking back to the post office when I finish this recording to get my goddamn money back from Amazon. But on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today, leave a like below, smash that subscribe button, and if I were you, and if you were me, you should come back for the next video.
Does it not remind you of the female form? That beautiful waist, those lovely hips, and that beautiful back. Interesting.
This is Jim Rockford. At the tone, leave your name and message. I'll get back to you.
You've reached Jason King's voicemail, but he's too busy to take your call. That's why he got me, Duke Nukem, to take the call for him. So leave your message after the prompt. Or don't. I don't really care.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?